Andhan tamaha pravishanti yeya sambhutim upasate tato bhuyaiva te tamo yau sambhutyamrita. Those who worship the unmanifested, or they worship and they cannot identify, they don't know really that God they are worshiping, they enter into a blinding darkness. But those who worship God manifested meaning all of this, when we say Shiva, all that we see is Shiva. When we acknowledge the presence of God within every particle of the universe, those who worship in that manner, they enter into God's realm. Those who worship blindly, they enter into greater darkness. This verse from Ishopanishad says that those who engage in the worship of Andham, of ignorance and of false gods, will pravishanti, enter into tamaha, darkness, into the darkest region of ignorance. Those two who upasate, worship as sambhutim, demigods of the impersonal and the false kind, those two will enter in that realm. So it says that those of us who, the weakness, you see, us as humans, we tend to look at other humans sometime, and for various reasons we worship them as God. We don't worship the divinity within them, we worship them as God. To do this in itself is pravishanti, entering into tamaha, darkness of ignorance. How many times have you heard those who do drugs and they smoke all kind of things, and they come to you and tell you they feel a peace when they do it? What kind of peace is that? They tell you that they feel like they go into meditation when they do that. That's their idea of meditation. But the shloka tells us that those who involve themselves in activities that somehow leads to that false sense of peace of mind, like those type of drugs, they also exist in tamaha, darkness of ignorance. Our havan and sandhya, our meditation, when done with the true focus on God, is the shortest, most direct path to God. My dear brothers, my sisters, my fellow souls, Namaste. According to Bhagavad Gita, there are three modes of our existence, of our way of thinking, which determines how we live and what we achieve in this lifetime. Tam, Raj, and Sat. Now let's think about it from a common sense perspective and see how those apply to what we see as everyday life. The three levels of our existence. First, there is a person who we can call the experiencer. This person experiences things and he lives for the experience. He exists to satisfy his senses. Everything that he does leads to this satisfaction of senses that he's looking for. They smoke things, they eat things, they drink things, they inject things, and they do all of this for those sensory experiences. Their days and their nights are consumed with just that kind of activities. They go to bed, after that they wake up and they crave more of that. These those kind of people are consumed, their very life. Acquiring material things also belong to the same category. Those people who chase only after material things. All they care about is making the bigger bank account and owning dozens of... They're engrossed. They're so buried in the materialness of the world. Those people too belong to that same category. That is the experiencer. They exist to fulfill their senses. All these sensory experiences. That's what they live for. Second, you have what I call the thinker. The person who utilizes intellect, who not only asks these questions, why am I here? What's my purpose? Where do I go after this and all of that? But they go on a journey seeking the answers to those questions. The thinker is not satisfied with things just tomorrow being a repeat of today. But he wants to improve daily. He seeks to broaden his scope of thinking daily. Sure, the thinker also enjoys the physical things of the world. He enjoys the foods. He enjoys some of the desires. But he does so in moderation. And that is the key. He enjoys the things of the world, knowing that that is not what he is. He enjoys them in moderation. He practices restraint and discipline. So there's nothing wrong with being a thinker, except even at this stage, we have to motivate ourselves as thinkers to go to the next level of existence. So we have the experiencer, and then we have the thinker. So let's call the other one the knower. That person who knows, who understands where he fits in. This person at one time was a thinker. But he, in his practices, in his restraint, in his discipline, in his meditation, he has transcended and gotten to the point where he now is, we call him a knower. He is above the thinker. This person understands the truth in Ishavasyamidam Sarvam. He understands in his heart that God exists in every particle of the universe, in the entire world. He understands Kurvaneva Karmani. He understands Jijivishe Shatam Samaha. That only by performing selfless and detaching himself from his deeds and the rewards of his deeds, only that is the only way to live. He knows that in his heart and he practices it. He lives the very idea that Yatu Sarvani Bhutani Manye Vanu Pashyati Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmanam Tata Navijagupsate. He knows that. He knows the truth of that in his heart. He is at a spiritual level where he sees all beings as a part of himself, and he sees himself as a part of all other beings. This is the knower. This person understands Soham Asmi. Remember that mantra from Ishopusha, Pushanekar, Sheyam Surya, Prajapatya, Vyuhar, Lashmin Samoha, Enzen Yasa, Vasau, Purusha, Sohamasmi. He knows in his heart the truth and he works to uncover and remove the obstacles in his life so he can identify the true vision, the true God. Saha, myself. Asmi, I. Asmi, am, aham, I, soham, asmi. He understands the divinity within. He has identified his true self. And yes, this person knows in his heart the temporary nature of life. And he's comfortable when that time comes. It's okay. He's not afraid of that. He understands basmantam shariram, that when we're done, this body goes and it's okay. He's comfortable with that. Our Guruji Swami Vedabharati was such a person. He was a knower. These teachers who've achieved this level of thinking, they have transcended what we see as life. For the rest of us, becoming this knower is the goal. This knowing person, this person who not only reads and chants, but lives the principle behind the mantras in Vedas. This should be our goal. This is not impossible for the person even who's the experiencer. Now if you look at how we evolve, now the experiencer eventually will become or should become a thinker. And then the thinking person should eventually become the knower. There's a spiritual growth, a path that we should undertake. And this is how we should be living our lives. But first we have to identify where we are. We have to ask ourselves, are we the experiencer? Then if I'm the experiencer, what does it take to get to be a thinker? What do I need to achieve that level of existence? And then if I identify myself as a thinker, what do I need to become that knowing person? For the thinker to become the knower, he must practice discipline to implement the knowledge that he has gathered. He lives and he continuously refines and hones his intellect to become a knower. This is what the Swamis of the world do to transcend what we see as ordinary life. For this person, he must learn how to identify with others, become love, and become compassion itself. Not just a word, not something that they practice once in a while at their own convenience, but they practice all the time so they become that. This person, he turns inwards, he practices meditation, he seeks to create his own peaceful environment, and he enjoys his solitude. He is never alone. Lonely, the concept doesn't mean anything to him. Solitude is what he wants. His intuition, his internal teacher, becomes his best friend. That internal teacher, that's God within you. When you're going to do something that you shouldn't be doing, and that little voice that says you shouldn't be doing that, that's your internal, that's divine within you, reaching out to you to tell you to correct, to stop. But we don't listen. So what happens to that voice after a while? If you don't listen to it, and you don't listen to it, and you don't hear it anymore. But those of us who listen to our intuition, the more you listen to your intuition, the louder the voice gets. And then you walk with God, literally. Because that voice of God, that divine, is present within you, and you know it, and you follow in it. This person is engaged in constant communication and conversation with his divinity. I guarantee that any question that you have about yourself, about your existence, about your reason, about your purpose, if you were to really contemplate and think about it, the answer is already within you. Because the divine is there, ready to give you the answer. But we have not asked the question. As Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, this is Karma Yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhanam jaya siddhi asiddhya sumo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Sri Krishna says, do your duty, your karmani, your prescribed duties to the best of your abilities, O Arjuna, but with your mind free and attached to nothing except the divine. The divine that's present within you, your own internal Sri Krishna. Many of us have not yet identified the true self within. We're far from that. We're too busy with the details of ritual. We're too busy with the motions of ritual, and we don't find that peace within. You see, Swami Dayanand has minimized motion. All of the things that most Hindus do, Swami Dayanand, what did he do? All the motion is swaha, swaha. Focus on that. But now we have found ways to increase motions and go around the fire and stand and do this and do that, which takes away from the peace of body that we're looking for. We're looking to establish peace, calm. And how can we establish that peace and calm if we're always moving? So, Sat, Raj, and Tam, these three states of mind. Today I'd like to ask you, let us first identify, where do we exist? I'll tell you a little story about mindset of acceptance and balanced thinking. This wild horse ran to this farmer's yard one time, and people congratulated the farmer. Oh, you have good luck. The horse just came to your farm. His response was, good luck, bad luck, who knows? It's all the will of God. A few days later, the wild horse left, disappeared. Neighbors said, sorry, the horse is gone. He says, good luck, bad luck, God knows best. A few days more, the wild horse came back with many other horses. They congratulated him. They say, oh, what happened? Oh, this is great. God is on your side. He says, oh, God knows best. Good luck, bad luck means nothing. A few days later, this farmer's son tried to ride a horse and fell and broke his leg. The neighbors came over and sympathized and says, oh, poor thing, bad luck. He says, good luck, bad luck, God knows best. The king sends his men now to recruit young people for the army, young men for the army, and they couldn't take his son because his son's leg was broken. The young man was taken, the farmer's son was left because he had a broken leg. So again, the farmer says, good luck, bad luck, God knows best what happens. See, he left things in the hands of God. He understood where there was no luck. It's in God's hands. These three modes of existence, Sat, Raj, and Tam, Sattvam, Raja, Tamayati, Guna, Prakriti, Sambhava, Nibadhananti, Mahabaho, Dehe, Dihinam, Avyayam. This shloka says that our nature, our existence consists of three guna. Guna is what they call it. Qualities or modes of existence. Same thing we're talking about. And the categories are Sattvam, the mode of goodness, the knower. Raja, the mode of passion, that person who experiences but control. And Tamaha, the mode of ignorance, the experiencer. He says that Sattvam, the mode of goodness, is purer than the others. And what he's saying here essentially is that everyone can evolve to the next level of thinking. This is what Sri Krishna is trying to say. So, My fellow souls, my message to the youth today is, first, let us identify what level of our existence. Are you an experiencer? Are you a thinker? Or are you a knower? Most of us, I think, we're not knowers. The Swamis are. But we're trying to get there. And let us determine what it will take. What can we modify in our life? What can we do differently to elevate our thinking? So that every day we keep moving, we keep rising on our spiritual path. That tomorrow I'm a better person than today. Next week I'm a much improved person than this week. And next year my spiritual growth has taken me to another level of thinking than this year. प्रभु भक्ति में मन को लगाइए, वह सबका ही पालनहार है, दुख दूर करेगा परमात्मा, सर्व सुखों का वह भंडार है। प्रभु भक्ति में मन को लगाइए। Create in your mind the devotion to the Lord. He is the one who's your sustainer, your guide. He is the one that helps you remove all your pains, all your sorrows in your life. He alone can grant you happiness. विषयों में फंस करके बंदे जीवन को बर्बाद न कर, नादन छोला उत्तम है, पाप न कर, अपराध न कर, नंदलाल प्रभु निराकार है, नमस्कार उसे बार बार है, दुख दूर करेगा परमात्मा, सर्व सुखों का वह भंडार है। प्रभु भक्ति में मन को लगाइए। This verse of this bhajan fits what we're saying. It says that, oh man, you only end up destroying the unlimited potential of a wonderful gift of life that God has given us when we trap ourselves in the lives of just satisfying the senses. If our entire life is revolved around satisfying just the senses, we're just wasting this gift of life that God has given us. This body, this precious gift, we should be using to make that spiritual progress. Think of life like a school. And we're in different levels of classroom. If we fail this class, we're repeating it. And that's what I tell people I talk to people with a drinking problem. And I tell them this, I say, listen, if you don't resolve this, if you don't conquer this problem in this life, you are going to repeat it all over again in the next life. This is how we need to think about it, so that whatever is your challenge in this life, make sure that you overcome it, so that the next life or the next classroom, you don't have to go through the same thing. So, again, I'll ask you, are you an experiencer? Are you a thinker? If you're a thinker, good. You're on the path. Continue on that path and become an evolved thinker so that you can fully achieve and satisfy, fulfill your purpose in this life. Today I pray that Satyasya apihitam mukham, Satyasya mukham, the face of truth, that is covered, apihitam, covered and guarded, may it be revealed to you in your spiritual journey. May you find your peace. My fellow souls, may you find your oneness with your divinity within. I thank all of you for being kind, patient, and attentive audience this morning. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.